The courts don't enforce the Constitution as it was written. The military-industrial complex and the Zionist lobby have ironclad grips on the Congress, so the military-industrial complex still is the beneficiary of now $1 trillion annual budget, which of course is absurd. That's more than the next 10 countries combined, which includes Russia and China, of course. The absence of constitutional norms, all these things, and debt, all these things are going to bring down the American government, probably debt before the others.
So you predict the collapse of the American government within the foreseeable future?
The collapse of the federal government and the United States breaking off into, I don't know how many, a dozen or so smaller republics.
So the breakup of the United States as well?
Yes, because it won't be able to pay its bills. It won't be able to pay its salary. No one will want to work for it. No one will lend money to it. People to whom it owes money will be out of luck. It'd be like suing the Confederacy after the Civil War because you made them a loan. The federal courts wouldn't even hear the suits.
So, sorry, just one last question. Who do you think would break off first? Is it like Texas, or how do you see this fragmenting?
Well, this is just speculation on my part, but it would be regional, and it would be ideological. So New England would probably be its own small republic. Texas would be its. Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida would be one. I don't know where my home state of New Jersey would end up, probably wherever New York goes. But these are the things that will probably happen. I mean, people will wake up and they'll still be able to go to supermarkets and they'll be able to go to church and they'll be able to go to work. There'll just be no federal government anymore. Will someone move in on and take the place of it? Who knows?
Hey, Shalom. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta. And you just saw from the brothers page, Arrows of Indignation 144. That's Judge Andrew Napolitano basically predicting the collapse of the federal government with America being split into what he says possibly 12 different zones or 12 different regions. And that's heavy because first off, he's basically prophesying, which I'm not saying he really is prophesying because he's most likely an insider and most likely has some understanding of the plans of the elite. So that's not really prophesying, but he is saying it before it happens, if this does indeed happen. But what's heavy for us is that our apostles and elders of the Great Millstone have been speaking on this because FEMA divides the country into 10 separate FEMA regions. And so we could pull that up here. The judge was saying it's going to come through debt, in which that's the reason for this division. But we do understand that America's already divided into these 10 regions. So just from the AI overview, it says the 10 FEMA regions group U.S. states and territories for emergency management coordination and are headquartered in major cities like Boston, New York, Atlanta, Chicago, Kansas City, so on and so forth. But you see there's 10 different regions. Here's a picture of it spreading, showing the different regions being spread out. And this goes into prophecy because right here in Revelation, it actually speaks of a 10th part of the city falling. So Revelation 11 and verse 13, it says, "In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, so completion. And we know 10th part, it were divided into 10 FEMA regions. It says, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the Most High of heaven. And so you do see this within prophecy too. So who's to say that what the judge was saying won't actually come true? And we might actually see America being divided physically into different parts. And so we also understand that America is just straight up divided. It's divided spiritually, it's divided philosophically, and soon that spiritual division is actually, maybe we'll actually see all that division coming into physical form too, with if what the judge said was actually true. And so this is Matthew 12 and verse 25. And it says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. So every kingdom divided is going to come to an end. It says, or destruction. And it says, in every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And we see massive amounts of division here, especially with thought. People's thoughts are not all on the same page. Nobody's really, which really makes for no cohesion. So how can you have America push into the future if everybody is on different pages? There's gender division, there's socioeconomic division, there's spiritual division, there's massive amounts of different religions here. With that, this is a place where you could come and practice whatever religion you want, from Christianity and Judaism to Satanism and being atheists. And you got Buddhists and Hindus and Islam and witches and or Wicca and all these different beliefs. There's no standard for people to back up. And so when it comes to actually uniting, it's not going to be able to unite. It's all gonna fall. And it says, and if Satan cast out Satan, and these are the people of Satan, these Edomites that are in power currently, so-called white man, including the small hatters, they are Satan's people. And they're not going to just keep ruling in wickedness and destroying the earth. They're about to fall. And this division is being shown more and more. You can see it, and maybe we actually get some physical division within this country as well, with the country being divided into maybe the 10 FEMA regions, or maybe even 12, like the judge said. But nonetheless, it all falls. It all falls. I'd bet on 10 though, because the scripts say 10. It says, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And there's no room for Satan's kingdom to continue to stand. It's polluted the whole earth. It's polluted people's mindsets. It's destroyed everything. It's falling. We're watching Esau's kingdom, which is Satan's kingdom. We're watching this all fall. And as it says, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. There's no cohesion, no unity with all this division. Let's go to Daniel chapter 5 and verse 25, because America in the scriptures are also known as Babylon the Great, and Russia is known as the Medes. And in history, the Medes took over the Babylonians. Going into it right here in Daniel chapter 5. But before that happened, there was writing on the wall via a hand. And here's what it said. Daniel 5 and 25. And this is the writing that was written Many, many, tickle, upharsin. This is the interpretation of the thing. Many, the Most High hath numbered thy kingdom and finished it. And we understand that Esau has bounds in which he cannot pass. He has a set amount of time to rule. It was a temporary blessing that he was given. We're right at the end of those number of days, that time slot given. He's not going to be able to pass over any of that time. It says to call, thou art weighed in the balances and art found wanting. They're found lacking. They lack in morality. They lack in spirituality. This is something that can't go on for much longer. And the elite have that CERN machine over there in Switzerland. They got a number of them all around the world. But a few years back, they're saying they got a message through it, and it was to call. Thou art weighed in the balances, and art found wanting. Which that word wanting goes into lacking. They're lacking. It's not a fair balance. They're out of balance and are about to be taken out, because a false balance is an abomination to the Lord. Perez, the kingdom is divided, and this is the point. Their kingdom is divided. How can it still stand? And the judge is going into how it might become physically divided. The kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. This happened in the ancient world, but it's going to happen again coming up soon, in which the Medes, again, so-called Russians, they're also known as Gog of Magog, they're going to take out America via nuclear weapons, nuclear missiles. This land's going to be laid desolate. It's going to go into desolation, just like we saw in Matthew 12. Kingdom divided shall be in desolation. Russia and its bands, its allies, are going to join forces, even with some of America's allies, NATO and EU countries, and they're all going to shoot missiles onto America. It says the beast shall hate the whore. Not saying Russia's a part of the beast, but those NATO and EU countries that turn against America, against Babylon, against this great whore, are. And it says, shall make her desolate and burn her with fire. America is about to go out, and it's going to go out shamefully and in fire. And so, keep an eye on that. Maybe this place does get divided up physically. We do know there's a ton of debt here. We do know there is division. And so, maybe we see some physical division. Lord will, we do. So, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.